Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justina and here I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs. Now as you see by today's title, I am going to be working with Dollar Tree skulls and this stuff called Great Stuff, which is just a filler for gaps and cracks. Now these DIYs turned out super awesome and I'm super excited to share them with you. I can't believe we are in the month of October, so happy Halloween to all of you. If you are new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button down below. It is totally free. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I really hope you enjoy and I appreciate each and every one of you. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. For the first DIY, you want to grab a couple of Dollar Tree skulls. Now, I have noticed that they have been coming out with different colors and also in a velvet type texture, but I'm just using the good old-fashioned ones. Next, I'm going in with my folk art home decor chalk paint in the color Java, and I'm just going to add it all over my skull. I'm really trying to get in all of those creases that are already in the skull, so those are going to be the darkest part of my skull, and then I'm going to take a paper towel and remove some of the excess. I will continue adding brown all over the skull until it is to my liking. What I'm trying to do is just make my skulls look more aged and more gross, because that is what I'm trying to go for. But if that's not your thing, you do not have to do this at all. You can just leave the skulls as is or paint them a color that you choose. And if you do not have brown paint, you can always use a stain to get the same effect, or it even turns out a little bit better. But I'm just going to use my Java paint. After I was done with that first coat, I then went in with a black acrylic paint and just filled in the eyes a little bit better because they're not fully black even though it looks like it. And then I'm going to just add it all over my skull as well, and then I'm going to do the same technique, which is taking a paper towel and removing the excess. Once I was done with that, I then went in with a light gray color. I believe it's my folk art home decor chalk paint in the color Castle, and I'm going to add it to my skull again and added it in various places, and then take the paper towel and remove the excess. Like I said, I really wanted these to look really old and decrepit. As you see here, you could tell the difference. Now that I was done painting all of my skulls the exact same way, I then started painting on the teeth. I didn't really like how they were turning out, so I went in with some white acrylic paint and then went in with some yellow acrylic paint just to make them look aged and old, and continued doing this for all of the skulls. Once they were done and painted and dried, it is now time to attach them. I'm going to attach them in a pyramid, so I'm starting off with my first row, which is a row of 3, and I'm attaching them using my hot glue gun. Now if you want a more permanent hold, I suggest using E6000 or a super glue, but just for my purposes only, I'm using my hot glue gun, and I have a hot glue Gorilla glue stick. Next, I'm adding on the second row, which is a pair of 2. Once again, I'm just adding my hot glue and pressing firmly so that the skull can attach nicely, and then I will attach the second one and then attach those 2 together. Then lastly, I will attach the last one right on the top of the pyramid so that I have a stack of skulls. Now, I was going to attach it first with it facing up, but then I leaned it to the side as you see here, and I really love that look. So with this one's going to lay on its side. After I attached the last skull, I did realize it was a little bit top heavy and it wanted to tip over. So to remedy that, I found 3 Jenga blocks in my crafting stash, and I'm going to put it under the 3 skulls that are on the bottom right below its head, just so that it can stand upright. Now, if you're placing this around your house, this will work perfectly. You don't need anything else, especially if you're just using it as a display. Now, I am going to attach mine outside as well. So I did add a slit to one of the skulls so that when I put it outside, I just have to put it on a stake and it holds it into place. But like I mentioned, I am still adding the Jenga blocks so it can hold it upright, and I'm just using my hot glue to attach it. Lastly, all I needed to do was paint those little Jenga blocks brown, and that completes this DIY. This is how my little skull stack turned out, and I absolutely love it. It's really spooky. Like I mentioned, I did put a slit in the bottom of one of the skulls, so it is over a stake to hold it into place so that it doesn't blow over. But I loved it so much I had to make a second one, but with this stack I only did 3. I absolutely loved how this DIY turned out, and I would love to know what you think about this down in the comment section below. For my next DIY, I have 2 of Dollar Tree's Tupperware, one really large and one small, and I'm just going to actually use the Tupperware part, not the lid, so I place that to the side. Next, I found one of these foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree, and I realized if you twist it, it comes off. I'm pretty sure these are new because I haven't seen them at my Dollar Tree before, but I am going to use the half of it. Next, I'm going to glue the half of the pumpkin right on top of the big Tupperware piece as you see here, because I'm going to turn this stack of supplies into a nice creepy spider. Next, I'm going to attach this small Tupperware to the larger Tupperware by using my hot glue gun, and I'm just stacking it right on top of the lip of the bigger Tupperware and adding a bunch of hot glue. That is the body of my spider. Now, as that is drying, I want to make the legs of my spider, and I'm just using an old pool noodle that you see me here cutting in half. After I had the half of the pool noodle cut, I then cut it down into the center because I need to make this part into 4 legs. After I cut it in half, I will then cut each half in half again to make 4 legs, and these will be the legs of my spider, and I will do the exact same thing to the other half of the spider so that I will have 8 legs total. I wasn't completely straight with all of my cuts, but I really like that look because I wanted this to really look creepy and spooky. So the more rugged it looks, the better it is. Now that I have all 8 of my pieces, I will put that to the side because now I need to make the body of my spider, and that's where this great stuff, gaps and cracks, come into play. And you can pretty much find that great stuff in any stores, Walmart, Lowe's, or even Home Depot for various prices. Now that I have it all prepared, I am just going to spray it all over my plastic Tupperware. As you see here, I'm trying to go more in a circular form, but once again, I am going for a creepy spider, so I don't mind that it is not perfect. I will continue adding it all over my Tupperware until it is completely covered. Now, I do want to mention that while using this stuff, it is extremely sticky, so you might want to wear some gloves. It actually prefers you wearing gloves. When purchasing this item, please read the instructions and make sure you take all the safety precautions necessary to use it. It also needs to be in a well ventilated area. My window was open, so I was fine, and I know I'm not wearing gloves. However, I was just trying to be as careful as possible. Now, also, while using this stuff, if you do realize you have a hole in your little area that you're trying to cover, no need to worry because this stuff does expand 1 to 3 inches, so it will cover itself, and if not, you can always go back and fill it in later. Now that my spider is completely covered and dry, I'm just going to take an X-Acto knife and remove any extra foam that I didn't like in certain areas. This is optional. I was trying to go for a really creepy looking one, so I like all of the bumps, but there was certain areas that was just extra foam that wasn't needed, so I'm just going to take it off. Now, it does say it takes about 1 hour to completely dry, but I let mine set overnight to make sure that it was nice and cured. Now that it is, I can now attach my pool noodles, which is my spider's legs. Now, as you see here, I'm just trying to find the best placement and that was to put the pool noodle inside out. Now, to make the spider look like it was taking a step, I needed to take a little section of the pool noodle out so that I can fold it onto itself so it looks like it is bended at the knee. And to attach it to itself, I'm just using my hot glue gun on the low setting so that it doesn't burn a hole through. I did attach a little clip so that it can hold it into place so that I can do the exact thing for the other 8 legs. After the legs had time to completely dry, I can now attach them to the body of the spider. Once again, I'm just using my hot glue gun and a Gorilla Glue stick to attach the pool noodle to the foam. I also use these little pins that I had on hand. I believe they were made for jewelry making, but it slid through the pool noodle and the foam just to hold it in place until the glue had time to completely dry. Next, to add a little bit more spider-like to the legs, I'm taking the X-Acto knife and cutting the ends of the pool noodle in a little point so that it looks like a pointed leg, and then I continue doing the same exact thing for all of the legs. After they were nice and attached, I did add more foam around the pool noodles closest to the body so it can hold the pool noodles into place, and then I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it using my Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint. I did have to give it about 2 coats of paint, and it did take about 1 can of spray paint to get the whole thing covered, but I still had a little bit of spray paint left over after I was done. But I make sure to move the spider on its side and over onto its back so that I get every nook and cranny of the spider. Now that it is completely dried, it is now time to attach some of the details, and I had some of these foam pumpkins from Temu left over, and I'm just going to cut those in half so that they can become the eyes of my spider. After I had the amount that I wanted, I am just going to attach it using my hot glue gun right on top of the foam, and any excess glue that runs off to the side, I'm just using a popsicle stick to remove it so that it doesn't look bad, I guess. I will attach all of my eyes. I believe I only did 4 for this spider. I know that spiders have way more eyes than that, but I just like the way that only 4 were attached. Next, I found a bunny rabbit in my crafting stash, and I'm just going to cut off its ears for this part because this will be the little teeth for my spider. I am just going to attach it using my hot glue gun and then pushing it into the foam, and it does hold into place. Once that was attached, it is now time to paint. I will start painting my spider's eyes using my Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in the color Imperial Red, and then I just paint all over the pumpkins, and I give it about 2 coats of paint, making sure that it was nice and opaque. Next, I am going to paint on my little spider's teeth, and I'm just using some white acrylic paint for that, letting that completely dry, and I believe I only gave it 1 coat of that paint. For added detail and for my spider to look more sinister, I gave my spider an eyelid using black acrylic paint just so it looks more creepy and that it is coming from you. And I also did add a little line of black acrylic paint to the center of the eye to give my spider a pupil, but after that, that completes this DIY. I absolutely loved how this spider turned out. It is super creepy, and the best part about it is that it can be for indoor and outdoor use. All you have to do is pin down the legs so that the spider doesn't crawl away, but I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. I really wanted a spooky wreath for my front door, so that is what our next DIY is going to be. I have a Dollar Tree wreath ring that I'm going to cover up with this burlap that I had on hand. I believe I purchased it at Walmart on clearance for $4. I like to attach ribbons to my wreath form so that when I attach other items to the wreath form, I have something to attach it to. So that's what I like to do. I'm just going to cover it using a little bit of hot glue to hold it into place and then wrap it around the wreath form. Now, the inspiration for this wreath came from other DIYers using the Great Stuff spray foam and some bones from Dollar Tree and creating this little scene under a witch's cauldron. So it looks like the bones are on fire, but instead of doing that, I wanted it in a wreath form, so that's where the inspiration came from. I'm pretty sure you have seen it. It is really popular this year. After I was done covering up my wreath form, I needed to make a little hanger, so I found some jute twine and I'm just going to tie it into place before covering that little section later. Now that I have my wreath form nice and prepped, it is now time to attach the details. I found these hand skulls at Dollar Tree. They have them out every year, and I am attaching it using my hot glue gun. I wanted to attach these hands first before adding the foam so that it was actually below the foam and more like towards the bottom of the foam, if that makes sense, because I wanted this to look like it was coming out of the foam. Next, you want to grab your Great Stuff, give it a nice shake, and then apply it everywhere on the wreath form. Now, I'm going to add my Great Stuff in little sections so that I can continue adding more stuff into the foam so it can dry within the foam. I know I say foam a lot, but that's what it is. I am attaching the Great Stuff going very slow. I know it looks pretty fast because I did speed up this portion, but I wanted to make sure that I got in all of the cracks and crevices so that it had time to expand and hold down all of my stuff. Now that I have a good section of the foam laid down, I then started adding more bones and stuff that I purchased from Dollar Tree over the years. I have eyeballs, I have bones, I also have spiders that I'm going to add and keep adding on until I got the desired look that I'm going for. I also have these miniature skulls. I believe I purchased those at Party City, but Dollar Tree also carries little skulls as well. And then I'm just going to continue adding foam on top and anywhere where I like it. As I am filling up my wreath, if you have made it this far and you are new to my channel but haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is completely free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, I would love for you to be part of our virtual art family here. If you already subscribed, thank you again so very much. I do appreciate each and every one of you being here, and I really hope that you are enjoying today's video. If you are, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. Remember, friends, I do have other socials. I have an Instagram and a Facebook page where I like to post videos and pictures of all of the DIYs that I have created in today's video and also in past videos, and it is a great way to share some of the DIYs that you have created from the inspiration from my videos. So if you would like to go over there and say hello, I would love to hear from you. And if you would like to help support my page a little bit more, you can always check out my Buy Me a Coffee page. All of the links to everything will be down in the description box below. Now that I have all of my stuff onto my foam and it has dried completely and cured for a couple of hours, I wanted to add some paint right on top. Now, I've seen a lot of people use some spray paint to get this effect, but I like to hand paint it just so I have more control over where the paint is going. Now, I first started off with my Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in the color Imperial Red, just so it looks like the flames are underneath it. Next, I'm going in with my Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint in the color Castle, which is just a light gray, so it looks like ash all over the little sections. And then lastly, I will go in with my just black regular acrylic paint and fill in all of the areas. Now, I do blend in all of the paints together to give it more of a burnt light texture, and I will continue adding paint until it is completely filled into my liking. And once the paint was completely dried, that completes this DIY. is how my wreath turned out. I absolutely love it. I did place it in my kitchen so that it was up against a white door so you could see more of it, but I also placed it outside on my front door, and I absolutely love the outcome of it. It is totally awesome and spooky, but I would love to know what you think about this down in the comment section below. Well, friends, that completes today's DIYs. I had a blast making these, and I really hope I gave you some inspiration to make some of these for your home decor as well. Remember, friends, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you if you're already a subscriber. Thank you so much. I do appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. And don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comment section below to let me know which one was your favorite DIY of the day. If you would like to see more photos of today's DIYs and past DIYs, don't forget to check out my other socials. All of the links are down in the description box below. Thank you all so much for clicking on today's video and spending a little bit of time with me doing some Halloween DIYs. I really hope you enjoy, and as always, I will see you in the next one.